Okay, so this is my major table, which is having the shipping data. And there are n number of, you can see the columns here, the column headings. And each of them, you can see because it is converted into a table, you have also have a drop-down button, which is specially meant for your filters and so on. Now, along with filters, last time we saw some filters and how to do the filtering. We also have sorting. Okay, so if I want to sort my data, let us say as per the order date or the order number, you can always go and click on this drop down button here. Okay, and here we have the two options: sort oldest to newest. Okay, this will be in ascending order. Whereas we have for the other option as sort newest to oldest. This is in the descending order. Okay, so let us select the first option here. I click on this. As soon as I do that, my full data set gets sorted as per the date, the order date here. And you can see this, there's a slight mark out here. You can see this is the arrow here. Okay. This indicates that the whole table has been now sorted as per the order date. Now, let us say after order date, I want to also sort as per the city. Okay, so I can click on this city option here. And again, I click on this. So what happens? The table gets sorted as per the city. But if you look at the order date, the order date, the sorting which was done here has been removed now. Okay, that means I am not able to sort on two fields here. Okay, so if by chance, if I want to sort by multiple column headings or multiple columns, what is the option? Can anyone give me an answer for this? You can put it in the chat or unmute yourself and you can answer it. What should I do if I want to sort by multiple columns? Okay, for the others, we also have an option here, sort and filter. You can see this one. We also have your sort and filter option. Anyone else? Anyone who wants to give an answer to this? I want some answers from you all guys. Yes, no answer. Okay, so if you want to have multiple sorting, okay, I'll show you how to do it. You go to this sort and filter option. Okay, here you have seen, you have the same two options, but we have an additional option called custom sort. Okay, now one more thing, if I want to select the whole data, I press Ctrl A to select the data. Okay, but you can see that the column heading is not selected. So to select the column heading and the data all together, I have to use Ctrl A again. Okay, so I'm pressing the alphabet A twice. So Ctrl A will select the rows, and double A, if I put double A, it is also going to select the column heading. Okay. Now I have to sort this. So I come here, I go to custom sort. Right. Now this is already sorted as I had already sorted on city. You can see this one. Okay. Now I want to sort as per the order date, or let us say the customer name or address, whatever you want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more level of sorting. So I click on add level. Okay. So first I want to sort as per the order date. So I'll select order date. Okay. Oldest to newest. That's fine. I'm not going to change that. Then I come here and then I'll sort it as per the customer type. Okay. Again, we have this option here, A to Z. I click on OK. And now we have got as per the order date, and you'll also find as per the customer type. So this is my first column where I sorted it, and this is my second column. You can see that small mark, the arrow mark, which is there. It is coming on both of them. Okay, so I'll show you once more. Whenever you want to sort the table on a single column, you can do it immediately from the column here itself. From this drop down button, you can go and select this sort option. Okay, if you have multiple columns to be sorted, then you better go to the editing menu option here. You can see under the home tab, we have this sort and filter option. Click on this drop down button, okay, and select custom sort. Whenever you want to add a particular level or you want to remove a level of sorting, you can add and remove it. Now I have sorted as per the two columns. The first column is order date, okay, and I've sorted oldest to newest. Then I have sorted by the customer type. Fine. Either you can change this, or you can, if you want, you don't want customer, say type, you can select this, click on delete level. It goes off. No problem. Add one more. Let us say something else. Product name. And this time from Z to A, I click on OK, and it gets sorted. Is there any question, guys? There was some question.
Yes, sir. Sir, date and city in chronological order.
Yeah. What you can do is, it's already in the same ascending order. So you can go here, custom sort. Okay, I've already sorted this as per the date, the first one. Okay, if you want in the newest to oldest, you can do that as well. Okay, the second one, you said you wanted city, right? So let us go and check city. So here's the city I have. Okay, instead of the ascending or descending order, I'll go for ascending order. Okay, and I'll click on OK. Fine. So here you can see this. This has been sorted, and this as well. Now, if I want this in descending order, let us change this to descending and check it out. I'll just change this to newest to oldest. Okay, so we get 2017 data first now. Previously, it was 2013 data. And this is as per the city. Clear? Any other doubt? And there's no limit. If you want, you can sort as per 3, 4, 5, whatever number of columns you want, you can do that. Basically, and whenever you want to remove the sorting, you can always go here, okay, and just remove by deleting a particular sort. Let us say add one more, okay, and this I want to change. This I want, let us say as state, and click on OK. So I have the third one also. So 1, 2, and 3. So first it is going to sort the order date, second the state, and in the state it is going to sort the city. Okay, that will be the order in which it is going to sort. Any doubts in this? Right? No problem. Fine. So I'm just deleting the sorting right now. I'll keep it as per the, let us say, order number, and I'll keep it from E to Z, ascending order. I'll keep it. Fine. So this is my sorted data. The other thing last time I was showing you was from here. Now there's something in the chat. Can we sort 2 or more columns separately? Does it have the same effect as custom? Okay, Nagesh, we cannot sort 2 columns separately. Okay, it has to be in the same command. We have to add the levels. Okay, so the first level and the second level. Usually what happens now, if I give the order date as the first level, so first sorting will happen as per the order date. Let us say there are 10 records of the same date. Okay, then I sort as per the city. Fine. So when we sort that as per the city, what happens? Under the 10 records for the same date, then it is going to add the, do the sorting for the as per the city. Clear? Okay, there's a question from Aishwarya Nambiar. you explain about pivot table. Pivot table will come later on when we actually start with that particular topic. We will do that. Any other question? So we will come to pivot table and pivot charts when the topic comes. But right now, we will be covering some different things. So as per my plan today, I'll be showing you formulas and functions. And there's a concept called 3D formula. So I'll be showing you how to get the 3D formula. Plus, we'll see some common functions or some few important regularly used functions as well. Okay. We'll also see how to give name ranges, how to name a range, and then how to use them in your formulas and your calculations. Now for that, let me close this one. Now for that, before we go there, I wanted to show you one more thing under design, the total row. Last time I showed you this and we had added the total. Under this, we have different functions which are available. Okay. If you're not happy with the number of functions and you require some more functions, you can always click on more functions and go there as well. Okay. How to add sort button. How to add sort button. Now, sort button is not added by me. Okay. When we convert this into a table, when we have converted this into a table, what happens? These buttons, the drop-down buttons get added. Okay. And these are the options available in this drop-down button. Okay. You can also go to the home menu tab from here and you can sort the table from here as well. Okay. So when we convert this range into a table, last time in the last session, we had converted the range into a table. And as soon as I convert the range into a table, what happens? I get this drop down buttons. Okay, all these buttons are added because this is a table. And how I know this is a table? Because as soon as you go inside the table, you'll find that one menu option has been added here under table tools, design menu option. Okay. And this is the name of the table which I have given last time. So this was my table here. Okay. Today we have just added one more row, you can say the total row. And the total row will have some functions that can be added here. So for example, if I want to count or I want to do some addition and so on, especially if I come here, let us say this one was sum. Okay. So you can just click on this. I've used sum here. Okay. If I want to know the maximum retail price, let us say the maximum cost. Okay. I can come here, click on this, select max. I'll get the maximum in this particular cost price in this column. Okay. So your total row which we added is also very important. And the function which is used, if you look at the function which is used here, okay, and the function is visible here, you can see in the formula bar, the name of the function is subtotal. If you want, you can also give it here, down here. I can give the function here and show you. So I can write equal to subtotal. This is the function which is added by default. And in this function, you get the different options which are available. Like if I want to perform average or count, you know, or if I want the min, max, and so on, I can select any one of them. Okay, let us say count. I can select this option. Okay, put a comma and give the reference of the columns which I want to count. Okay, so by default, we are not supposed to type this function separately. If we add the total row to the column or to the table, it automatically, when I go to this row, I get the option of selecting the function which I want. Okay, and it is a very useful one. Clear? Any doubts in how to get this total row? And again, there's some questions if you have, you can. Okay, Nagesh says, I was thrown out of the lecture last time due to network issue. Okay, can you upload? Of course, Nagesh, don't worry about the sessions. Now, the reason why I have not uploaded the session last time was because I want you all to attend the sessions, and after the next, especially if I complete this week, I'll be uploading it today itself. So the last time's session, which is recorded, will be uploaded today. Okay, so everyone will get the recording. Don't worry about it. Clear? Okay, let's go to the next topic for today. We are going to show you, I'll take another sheet for this. I have a sheet called HR database. Okay, this is my sheet which we have prepared here, which I have downloaded from the website. And there are some columns like employee ID, last, first, then the full name. Now these are blanks. We have to fill this up. The email ID, the hire date, service, and so on. Now we are going to use some functions, okay, and see how we can complete this whole database. Okay. Now the first function which we have seen last time also, it is your date function. That is, if I want the current date, okay, I can put it here. So I can come here, I can give equal to. There are two functions, as I told you last time, now and today, which will give you the current date, the system date. Now, last time we had used the now function. So today, in this session, I'll be using the today function. So this is my today function. I just put the round brackets. The today function do not take any parameter. It is just empty round brackets. You press enter, okay, and you're going to get the date and the time as per your system date and time. Clear? So this first function which we are doing for today, the today function to get the current date or the system date, you can say. In some cases, what happens is, if suppose your CMOS battery is down, or there's some issue with your PC or your laptop, and the system date is, not the current date, it might be some other date. In that case, the date which is there on your system, that date is going to come and not the current date. Okay, so it totally depends on your machine and depends on the system date, which is, you can see here below. This is my system date, and based on this, my date is come here. Okay. Now let us try to make use of some functions and get the full name. Now, usually what happens is whenever you're getting some forms filled up, and you're collecting the last name and the first name of the employee, but you won't require the last name and the first name, always separately. You might require it in a full name as well. Now, suppose you get a data like this, what you have to do. So let us combine this two columns and get the full name here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the last name first, and then I'll add the first name and get the full name. Now to do that, I can make use of either a function, or I can just give equal to sign here. So if I give equal to, that is always, remember, whenever you want to give the function or any formula, you have to make use of the equal to sign. Okay. So I give equal to, I select the first name, the last name first. Okay. And I can give the ampersand sign, and I can give the first name. But before that, I need to give a space here. So I give a space, again an ampersand sign, and select the first name. Okay, let's see whether we get the answer. Yes, we are getting it. So what is happening? The last name, after that a space is added, and I get the first name. This function I can easily copy it down, but look at the function when I am copying it down here. What is happening? My names are not put in proper way. Okay, somewhere it is in full capital uppercase, somewhere it is in proper case, sometimes it is lowercase. Especially you can see this third name here, the fourth name, it is all small case, and this is not what I want. I want it to be the first character of the name should always be in uppercase. That is what I want. So for doing that, we have a function called proper. Okay, I'll show you that function. So I don't want this now. So I delete this. I can write equal to, I put the function equal to, and the function name is proper. Okay, this is my function. And you can see it says that it converts the text string to proper case. And what is a proper case? The first character, the first letter in each word will be in uppercase. Okay, and all the other remaining characters will be in lowercase. So let us put this, And if I put this one now, because this is already in proper case, I'm going to put this one. And I'll just show you how it works. I'm not going to put the full name. Now, when I copy it down, you can see now this was fully capital. It is converted into a proper case. Okay. Now, this is not what I want. Again, I want to put the first name as well. So what I'll do, I'll combine these two strings together and then convert that into a proper case. Now, to combine the two strings, last time, the last function which I used the ampersand sign to combine two characters together or two contents together. Now, we also have a concatenation function. So let us see the other function, which is concatenate. In latest version, if you are using 2019 or you are using 365, Office 365, in that case, we also have a function called concat. Okay, it is a shorter version of your concatenate, and that can also be used. But I'll prefer using concatenate because I have a different version here. So I can use this concatenate round bracket. I'll select the first cell which I want to use, put the comma, and this is my second parameter, that is C4. Okay. Now, if I do this, what is going to happen is between the two names, there won't be any space. So let me show you this. I press enter and one more round bracket. I press enter. You can see this. There's no space in between. Okay. So in this case also, when I'm giving this concatenate function, I need to include a space, empty spaces here. So I'll give double quotes. I put a space in between and complete the double quote, put a comma. So now I have three parameters. The first parameter is B4, where I have the last name. Then the second parameter is a space. The space has to be given in double quotes. Then I give a comma and I give the next field, that is my C4. Now when I press enter, I get the name properly. And because this is what I want and it's in proper case, I can double click here and I'll get all the names as per my requirement in proper case. Okay. So I hope you have understood this function. What I've done, I've used two functions, proper function and concatenate function. So it is in a way this function which I'm using here, this whole formula is a combination of two functions, okay? A nested function. So first thing what happens, the innermost function will get executed, that is your concatenate function, and then it will be converted into a proper case. Clear? Now, the next thing what I want is, I want to come to this email, okay? And I want to create an email for all my employees by using the last name and the first name, okay? And I'll be giving @ because this is the name of the company, Pushpin. So Pushpin HR database. So I'll give Pushpin @pushpin.com. Okay, that is how I want to create an email for all of them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just write the function again. So I'll give C4. This time I want the first name first. So I'll give the first name. Again, I can make use of either concatenate function or I can make use of ampersand sign. In double quotes, I'll put a dot in here. I'll put one more ampersand sign. This time I'm going to select the last name, the ampersand sign again. Now this time I'm going to put @ and let us put the name of the company. So pushpin.com. Okay, and I press enter. Okay, so what is happening? It's creating me an email ID. But again, I do not want this uppercases here. I want this everything to be in lowercase. So I'll make some changes again. I'll come back here. I'll convert this into lowercase. So we have a function called lower. Okay, and I can just complete this round bracket. Press enter, and now I get the email ID, which I have created for my employee with their first name dot the last name @ pushpin.com. Okay. And again, if you want, if it is okay, you can double click on this to get all the names. Fine. The next thing, coming to this function here, let us come here. Now I have 3 columns here: floor, extension, and wing, which is not entered. And I have to get this from the location. Now in the location, the first 2 characters are nothing but the flow number. The next, that is after the hyphen, we have west, that is the extension. No, that is the wing. And the extension is 2635, the last 4 characters. Okay. So there are some functions using which I can extract some characters from a string. So let me show you that function. The first function which I'll be using here for floor is the left function, because this is in the left side of the string. So I give equal to left. Okay. This is my string. So K4, comma. Now, how many characters do I want from the left side? Because there are 2 characters, which is a part of the floor. So I give 2 here. Okay, I press enter and I get the 2 characters. I can double click this and I get the flow number. Okay. Similarly, for my wing or for my extension, I have to take from the right side. How many characters? The last 4 characters are nothing but my extension. So I give equal to, this time I'll use the right function. Again, I select this string, comma, this time it is 4 characters, press enter and double click this and I get the last 4 characters from the right hand side and I get the extension. Now wing is a bit tricky. Now from this I have to get the characters from the middle. Okay, neither from the right or from the left. So we have a function called mid. I can use the mid function. Now it takes 3 parameters. First of all, it is going to take the location, the string. So I take K4. Then I give comma. I need to give the starting number, the starting index position. Now, if you look at the string here, the first 2 by default are your flow number and there is a hyphen. So 3 characters are already going here. So I have to start from the 4th character. So the start number will be 4 here. Okay. Then I give the comma. Now, how many characters do I want to extract from this particular location? Now, if you look at the string here, there are 4 characters here. So I can easily give 4 here. Okay. And I press the round or press enter here and I get the character. But if you go down, I'll just go up to here because north is there. Fine. Now, if I go here, I'm not getting the full character north. Okay. The reason because in this function, I have given the last parameter as 4. That is the number of characters which I want. So this is not going to work properly for me. So this will go off. Now, instead of this, I need to do some other function I need to use. So the function which I'm going to use here is the find function. So what I'm going to do is I'll use the find function to find the space, because you can see this, there's a space at the end here. So I'll write in double quotes, I'll put a space like this, find space, comma, within what? Within the string K4. So again, I have to select this K4. Okay. From this, sorry, K4. From this, I'm going to subtract some characters, because if you look at the string, the last character, the last 4 characters, okay, this 4 characters. So I'm going to minus 4 from here. Minus 4. I'll show you why I'm minusing 4. Press enter. Now I get west from here. And now when I drag this, I'm going to drag it only up to here. I get north. Okay. Let us put the find function here and check what exactly it is returning back. So I give equal to find into bracket. The find text I had given in double quotes, the space. I want to search for space in this location. Okay. And I press the round bracket and press enter. Okay. It gives me 8. Now, what is 8 now? Let us go here. So 0 is the first index position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the 8th character in my string location is a space. Now I want to move 4 characters back, right? So that, usually I get the location. So if I say -4, so what is going to happen? This will return me 4. So I come here, let us put -4 because I put -4 in my function previously. I'll put 4 here. When I drag this down here, look at for north, what I'm getting, 5. So I know what is going to happen here is it is going to return the 5 characters. Previously, it is going to return only 4 characters. And that is what I want. Whereas for north, I want 5 characters. Okay, and there's the reason when I get using the find function, I get the 9th character because 9th character is a space. I -4 from there, I'll get 5. Okay, and that's the reason in this function, we have used find space from K4 and we have subtracted 4 from there. Okay, so you have to use some logic here to get the exact value. Okay, and depending on what type of the combination of your location is, so this -4 it will keep on changing depending on the requirements. Okay, now for in this example, I require -4. Clear? So I'll just delete this one. And now I can just double click from here. I get all the answers. Okay, I hope you have understood up to here. So like this, I have completed majority of my data. The only thing which is remaining is my year service and the next review. So there's only 1 minute left. I am going to stop the screen share and I'm going to stop the meeting. I'll start it again. Please rejoin again. Okay, let me stop this.